As someone told me in Hyderabad, Asaduddin Owaisi, the AIMIM leader, KCR ko harana. The views expressed in this blog are hosted on my own website, are strictly personal and do not reflect the views of any organization. Hello and welcome friends once again to Straight Bat, my weekly video blog where, as the title suggests, I comment with a straight bat. This week, another midweek special because this is a big election week where 5 states, the verdict will be decided, and Telangana is the last and final state to go to the polls. And everyone is asking the question, Kaun jeetega Telangana? Who is winning Telangana? Now, as someone told me in Hyderabad, when national parties contest against each other, it's a battle. But when a national party takes on a regional party, then it becomes war. That's right. Who is winning the war for Telangana? Here are my 10 takeaways after having traveled through the state. Takeaway number 1. KCR ko harana mushkil hai, namumkin nahi. It is difficult to defeat a leader like KCR, but not impossible. The charismatic KCR is a remarkably durable political figure who can never be written off. He and his party haven't lost a major election at any level in Telangana since the state was formed in 2014. He has a special emotional connect with his people, and many of his welfare schemes, including the contentious Raitu Bandhu scheme for farmers, are truly in many ways pioneering, and he is a very shrewd, far-sighted neta. Recall how in 2018 he suddenly called the election 6 months early and caught all the other political parties off guard. This time though, he is facing what some would call the 10-year itch, the 10-year anti-incumbency. And remember, no southern chief minister except the great MGR in Tamil Nadu has won 3 consecutive elections. So KCR in a way is battling history, and it's clear that his strong Jai Telangana emotional appeal, that regional appeal, is slowly diminishing if not fading. Takeaway number 2. Anti-incumbency against MLAs is far greater than against the chief minister. There is a lot of talk that one hears in political circles about how KCR and his family have become very unpopular, that there is great anger against the Telangana first family controlling all the resources of the state, how accessibility to the chief minister, the so-called farmhouse chief minister, is being denied. And of course, talk of corruption. To be honest, I didn't see KCR being suddenly an unpopular leader when I met people in the state. What has happened is his MLAs have become very unpopular. If there is one big mistake that KCR might have just made in this election, it is that he hasn't dropped sufficient number of sitting MLAs. Barely 7 MLAs have been dropped by him. These MLAs are seen to have enriched themselves. There are charges of corruption, and as one person told me, those who are driving scooters, sir, are now in Mercedes Benz. Many of these local MLAs are patronizing only their cronies and have become mostly unaccountable. It is the public anger against MLAs, therefore, that has put the BRS, the Bharat Rashtra Samiti of KCR, on the back foot. Takeaway number 3. Congress has now extra vigor in Telangana. As I travelled across the battleground states, in no other state did I see the Congress as well organized, a well-oiled machine this time as it is in Telangana. Truly energized in a way, at least that's what I saw. Maybe the congressmen are scenting power. Maybe the victory in neighbouring Karnataka has given them extra energy. Election strategist Sunil Kanogulu is also an important factor. He has focused on Telangana and been given an independent hand in running the campaign unlike in a Madhya Pradesh or a Rajasthan. It almost seems to me that this is a make or break election for the Congress in the state, and for once, at least on the surface, they seem to be pulling together as a united front. Takeaway number 4. Revanth Reddy is seen as a Congress Gen Next leader. If in most other states the Congress is stuck with the older guard, in Telangana we are seeing a change of guard. 54-year-old Revanth Reddy, relatively younger, far more energetic. He has his critics who say he's an ABVP man who was once with the Telugu Desam, he's an outsider. But the fact is, he does seem to have a fighting spirit and a willingness to do the hard yards on the grassroots, which many entitled Congress leaders who are more privileged perhaps have been unable to match. Takeaway number 5. If the Congress is on the upswing in Telangana, the reverse is true with the BJP at the moment. Remember, in 2019, the BJP won 4 Lok Sabha seats in Telangana. And then in 2020, in the Greater Hyderabad municipal election, the BJP went a step further and became the main opposition party, finishing second. Now, the party looks, by all accounts, to end possibly in single digits in a 119-member Telangana assembly. The party has seen sharp internal divisions. Its Hindu-Muslim card has not worked beyond a few pockets, and even the ploy of announcing a backward caste chief minister if the party is elected seems a bit like a last-ditch attempt to try and shore up their fortunes. You see, Mr. Modi is a popular leader in Telangana as he is in several parts of the country. But his appeal appears more likely to translate into Lok Sabha seats than any Vidhan Sabha victories. Takeaway number 6. Backward caste Muslims and the Dalit vote are crucial in an election in Telangana. The backward castes are the largest chunk, but they too are splintered this time between various parties, which is why the Muslim and Dalit vote becomes crucial. Muslims are about 13 to 14%, but they influence around 40 constituencies in Telangana. Dalits too are a very sizable community, 15 to 16% in the state. While the urban Muslim is likely to go with the BRS in Hyderabad and areas around it, it is in rural areas that one gets the sense that this vote is moving swiftly towards the Congress this time. And Dalit voters also are could play a key role. KCR has tried to woo them with his Dalit Bandhu scheme, but this scheme perhaps has proved to be less successful than some of his other welfare projects. Takeaway number 7. Asaduddin Owaisi, the AIMIM leader, will win in his backyard of old Hyderabad. But is he punching above his weight? Because remember, in around 7 constituencies in Hyderabad, the AIMIM is almost certain to win at least 6 of them. He's the big boss of this old area of Hyderabad, but only of this area. He's not bringing extra seats to the KCR kitty, which is why his strength is also his limitation. While he consolidates his votes in the old city of Hyderabad, he hasn't been able to spread his wings yet in the rest of Telangana. Takeaway number 8. This election, in a way, you could argue is Hyderabad versus rest of Telangana. A sharp rural-urban divide is noticeable. In Hyderabad city, I sensed a strong support for KCR, BRS and Owaisi. It's a city with a feel-good factor, with strong infrastructure and a general sense of pro-incumbency. But once you travel beyond the bright lights of Hyderabad, the mood is more mixed. There is a sense of the welfare benefits being cornered by those who are well connected. Aspiration levels are rising in rural Telangana, and that may partly explain the unease in these parts of the state. Takeaway number 9. Vitamin M is a big factor. What is vitamin M? Money power. Money power is omnipresent today in every state during elections, but nowhere does one sense its visible presence so strongly as much as one does in Telangana. The amounts that are reportedly being spent on these elections are truly staggering. In a sense, money politics has skewed the electoral process in states like Telangana, almost like a political auction where the highest bidder with the most resources will have an advantage on voting day. Takeaway number 10. Who is winning Telangana? It's a tough one to call, to be very honest. I do believe, and there is clear signs that the Congress has the momentum. But does it have the maths? Let's be clear. There are 24 seats in Hyderabad, and I expect the BRS and OAC to win most of them. So they start with an advantage of 20 plus in a 119 member assembly. Recall also how in northern Telangana, of the 28 seats last time, the BRS had swept 27 of them. So there's a huge BRS vote bank also in northern Telangana. The Congress, by contrast, is relying on southern Telangana, eastern Telangana, and on a switch in northern Telangana. Can the Congress dent what I call is a traditional BRS bastion with a large cadre base? Remember, the BRS had a double-digit lead in 2018 across the entire rural belt of Telangana, or large parts of it. So for the Congress to win, there has to be an anti-government mini wave, or some would say a complete sweep of rural Telangana. Can it do it? As I said, it has the momentum, but the cadres and the resources may still be with KCR. Therefore, the way I see it, anger against rural MLAs could push the Congress certainly to 50 out of 119. But to reach the magic 60 figure, it will require a wave. Is there an undercurrent or wave? I want to be careful when I say this. I say this again, momentum with the Congress, but as I said at the outset, KCR ko harana mushkil hai, namumkin nahi. How will this all end? We'll know on the 3rd of December. That was the Straight Bat. Do, of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel for many more such videos. For now, stay well, stay safe. Jai Hind, Namaskar.